Hello, hello. How's it going? We are live again. Doing art fight today. So I'll switch over and let you guys see what characters I'm picking out. Where's my window? There it is. Okay. Boop. Okay, so we're over here on art fight. This is my bookmarks. I'm annoyed that they're not organized by when I added them. I swear they used to organize them based on when I added them to bookmarks. Now they feel like they're in random order, and that means it's harder to find everything. But that's okay. I saved some things, so I've got one of Strawberry's characters here that I plan to draw. And then I saved a few other characters. I kind of just used the search feature and found some designs that seemed interesting. And I looked for like specific themes that I was interested in drawing. I really want to draw this little guy. Look at this dude. He's pretty fun. He's like a guitarist for a band. But he's like a little cartoon fire guy. And I love the vibe. So, I might draw him. And then this would be a revenge attack. This person drew one of my characters, so I picked out one of their characters that I liked. And it's kind of funny because this character has like a really similar aesthetic to mine. And his name is Akumu. And my character that they drew is named Ayumu. So I thought that was really funny. They have similar names and similar looks. So it seemed really fitting that I draw them. So I think those are like probably the three I'll focus on, is these three. Because I feel like also they're simple enough that I could do them pretty quickly. And then like see what kind of time I have after that. I will probably not get to more characters than those three during this stream, if I even get to all three of them this stream. I always think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna knock out a whole bunch, and then I'll get like 2 things done. So I'm not gonna pressure myself to get a whole bunch done, especially because I want these to look decent. I don't want to just give people garbage art, but I am gonna keep it pretty simple probably. Gonna do like little chibi doodles probably. For that one that's a revenge attack, I might do a little more, make them like a simple full body or something, because they did do, I guess I should show the art they did of my character. They did a full body here. Ta-da! My baby boy, and he's shaded and everything. So I might do something kind of more equivalent to what they did for my character. So kind of a simple little illustration like this. I guess it's not full body, it's at the knees, so like a little more than what I would call half body, but yeah, I might give them a little more of a detailed piece just to give a proper equivalent revenge kind of a thing. But then the others I'll probably keep simple. Just so I can do more with the time I have, because I never end up doing a lot during art fight. I run out of time, or I'm just like lazy. I don't have the motivation, so that I end up not really doing much. So I'd rather make little doodles for a bunch of people than like put effort into one drawing and then that be all that I get to do. Because fun little chibi doodles are still great, and people still like them, and yeah. I do want to pull a reference in here. I'm not sure what outfit I want to give her. Probably her standard outfit. Yeah, let's take this one as reference. Copy. And of course, I picked Peanut here because I have a little doggo girl named Peanut Butter, and they're like basically the same but different. And they're both very cute, so I have to rep my cute little doggo girls. I'm tempted to draw our two characters together, but I might save that for another time, just so I don't have to remember how to draw my character right now, because I don't draw her very often, so every time that I do draw her I have to kind of remember how. You know what? I think I want to do one eye open. I was gonna give her just like squinty little smile, but I think I'd rather give her at least one eye open. Although if I give her one eye closed, you can't see the heterochromia. So that might be nice to get both eyes in there. And she has to have stupid energy. She is not a very smart girl. Ah. She's got like a Flintstones hair a little bit here. Hello, welcome. We are drawing Strawboy Ree's character right now. And I am a little bit focused trying to learn the design, because I don't think I've drawn her yet. Which is kind of crazy, because we've talked about her a good bit. She's got her other little ponytail over there. I have to figure out what pose I'm going for here. Found a video on the American D-ration. These were the really bad chocolate bars. Oh! Like, you found a recipe for the chocolate bar rations from World War II? Interesting. I'm so tempted to have her, like, sitting like a dog, but she's wearing a skirt, and I don't want to make her flash everybody. So I think I'm gonna go with a more basic Clipsy character pose instead. Yeah, I remember Tasting History. That's cool. He would make them. That would be the channel who would make them. Okay. She looks pretty stupid. I think she's sufficiently dumb. Too bad Strawboy's not here. He's gonna be so upset if he learns that I drew his character while he wasn't even here. Maybe I should have started with another character just in case he shows up later. That's okay. I think she's got a bell here. Oh no, it's like a license. Yeah. She's got a license with a little peanut on it, apparently. Okay, I don't know what pemmican is, if that's how you say that. Are you sure that's what we want to be eating on our camping trip? That sounds like a, wow, I love how terrible this is, but I wish it was worse scenario. Like I know how we can make this camping trip more miserable. Pulls out the hardtack. Dried meat conglomerate, oh boy. Yeah. So, dried meat conglomerate like a Slim Jim? Or like a pile of meat? I'm trying to understand her shoes. I need to zoom in here. Okay. Fluffy leg warmers, and then her shoes have a bone on them. That's what was confusing me. I couldn't tell what these bones were from far away. So she's got bone shoes, and then her leg warmers. It's like a brick of meat, so like a Slim Jim? Closest thing we'd have is like the canned meats, but it's really more like a jerky brick. So like a Slim Jim. Oh, this is like a chain. Gotcha. Okay. And then one arm warmer. Singular arm warmer on this arm. Okay. Oh, and Band-Aid. Can't forget Band-Aid. And her little, I say little, but it's like the biggest antenna I've ever seen. Giant antenna. Alrighty. Line art time. I'm gonna turn this down a little so it's a little bit thinner. That's good. I actually, I'm not drinking tea today, believe it or not, because I already had too much tea today. So I usually have a cup of tea with my stream, during my stream, and I'll make it like right before I start streaming. So like about 15 minutes before I'm going live, I'll start boiling the water, and then it ends up being about drinkable when I like properly go live, because it takes probably like 5 to 10, somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes for it to boil. And then it takes probably less than 5 minutes to steep. And then when I like do my go live thing, I leave it on the waiting screen for like roughly 10 minutes. And then by the time I'm live, then it's a good drinking temperature. And then I usually forget about it for most of the stream, and then it's too cold to drink, and I have to drink it cold. But but it's the thought that counts, right? Yeah, but I like having tea because it's good for my throat while I'm talking basically nonstop. But yeah, I already had 2 cups of tea shortly before streaming, so I felt like if I had more caffeine right away, then I would get like the nervous jitters, and that's not a good recipe for streaming, so I elected instead to grab a liquid death for my beverage while I stream. I haven't opened it yet. I think I just don't like how this is looking because I'm not making it as, like, fluffy. See, he's got, like, floof. And I'm kind of just turning it into, like, one big strip, and I think I'm not liking how that looks. It's looking wrong to me. So, there we go. I think that's better. He's also got these bits a little farther into the eyes, so maybe I should move them over a tad. I don't usually draw this hairstyle. This is like the most basic anime hairstyle. Like everyone who doesn't know how to draw other hairstyles, they all draw basically this hairstyle. But for some reason, I'm not good at drawing it. And I can't explain why when it's like the go-to I can't draw other things hairstyle. Like why can I not draw the simple hairstyle? But it's fine. I've gotten better at it over time because so many people have characters with this style and I've had to draw their characters. So I've like kind of figured it out. It just sometimes takes me longer to get it like laid out in a way that looks good. Hello, Shrimptastic Mila. Welcome to chat. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. We're drawing a little character here called Peanut. She's a little doggo girl. And this is one of my viewers' characters. My viewer, Strawboyery. You might see him appear in chat. I'm not sure if he'll be here today. Because Arashi and I are doing a little collaboration stream tomorrow. And I know he's coming to that one. So I don't know if he's going to do 2 in a row. But he's usually here. So we might see him at some point today. Blub, 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 blub. She is, I think, definitely my favorite character of Strawboyery's. And there is some bias there because of the fact that she's similar to my character. But what's not to love about a stupid little dog girl? There we go. Hello, welcome, Potato Man. How's it going? What's your art account? You'd like to check it out? Art fight account. That's what you said. Sorry, my screen was partially covered. I can probably send a link. Oh, I should have pinned a link. That's what I should have done. Hang on a sec. I'll pull it up for you guys. I think technically you could just take my username and put it into the Artfight URL format and it will probably work. But a link is just easier. So I'll make it easier for you. Ooh, I don't like when it does it in that format. Sorry, give me a sec. Copy link. When I try to share a link through Google on my phone, it like does a weird Google share format instead of just like the regular URL, so I have to do a weird process to get the proper normal URL. Can I pin that? You're welcome. I forgot how to pin messages. Oh, there we go. It's pinned. So now you guys can access it. Okie dokie, back to art. Also, if any of you in chat want to share your art fight and request that I draw a character of yours, you're welcome to. I can't make any promises just because I often don't get around to making many attacks, but I am absolutely willing to put your character in the list and hopefully make some art of them. I also might do another art fight stream. Let's see, it's only the 8th. Yeah, so maybe next week I'll do another art fight stream so I can get more of these done. Because if I'm streaming art fight attacks, it kind of forces me to do them. And then I'm like, you know, using that time that I'm usually busy with stream for art fight, so it kind of forces it into my schedule. So that's probably the best way to get me to actually participate. So if I schedule another art fight stream, I'll probably be able to get around to more of them, which is a good idea. So that might be next week too, which means a larger chance I'll get around to drawing some of your characters. So you're welcome to share your link, because I'm pretty sure links are not blocked in my chat, so you can share your link, or if you'd rather just share your username, then I can figure that out. Or you can pop over to the Discord server, which the Discord link should be in the description of the stream, and you can also share your link or your characters in there, and then I can access it from there. I want it to like come out more, I think. Oop, not like that. Like that, but not. There we go. Yeah, more like that. There we go. That looks more... has more the energy of the original. The swoopiness. It's so silly. That works, I think. Yeah, that works. I just have to check every time to make sure she doesn't have paw hands and I'm not drawing them wrong. So I think in one of her art pieces, she's wearing like basically furry gloves, so she looks like she's got big old doggo hands. So I like always second guess myself, like, does she have doggo paws or human hands? Let's do the buckle here, because that's more accurate to how it is in the original. And then move the license over to over here. There we go. There, that works. Kinda. I still don't like it. That's better. Same as your user? Okay. Shrimptastic Mila, got it. There we go. That works. That looks roughly right. I considered listening to Spotify during stream today instead of just listening to my BGM. And I think that would have been pretty funny, because I probably would be listening to my like rock and metal playlist, and then I'd have some edgy music playing in my ear while drawing cutesy uwu doggo girl. But I decided not to do that because, one, loud noise makes me not hear myself as well, and so that's probably bad when I'm trying to interact with chat. I don't want to like be yelling at you guys by accident because my music is too loud. But also, then I couldn't play it for you guys to hear because copyright issues, and then I'd be like potentially humming along to music you can't hear and potentially still having copyright issues because I'm humming the music without realizing it. There's also a chance I would just forget to talk to you guys because I'd be distracted by my music, which is probably also not a good thing. Although I did do, before, when I was working on my sci-fi comic, I did play some of, The Midnight and, Gunship, because they do let people use their music on stream. So I've played their music before, but then I could play it for everyone to hear, and then I could kind of talk about it with chat. Although, really, when I'm talking about music with chat, it's just me talking at chat, because chat's just kind of listening like, okay, sure, whatever you say. Except Arashi. Usually. Arashi likes to chime in about music things. Bloop, 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 bloop. I feel like I really need to get over my current fixation on my band OCs, because right now they're still all I think about, and so they're all I can think to talk about. Which means I don't know how to not talk about them when I'm not drawing them. I'm not drawing them, I can't talk about them. It's not relevant. Although I guess I can talk about whatever I want on my stream, but I think these are flats. I'm not really sure if they're flats or just stylized sneakers though. No, they're more, that bone's like more on the end. Because the rest is covered by fluff. That's good enough. I'm probably drawing them too round, but 'tis fine. I'm gonna change that a bit because then it doesn't look like it's facing the right angle. That's kind of better. I know it's like a little different because in the reference they're covering more of the shoe, but I want to get that like upturned look, and that would probably push it out of the way a bit anyway. Tail. I love a good fluffy doggo tail. Honestly, I think I have more fun drawing dog tails than cat tails. Even though cats are like my favorite animal, I feel like dog tails are like easier to draw and just satisfying. There we go. Yeah, that works. I'm gonna do a new layer for her face and then for the chain down here, so I can draw it over top of the skirt and then just erase where it intersects, and then for the face, in case I screw up, I'm not screwing up the bangs in front of it. I need to do some testing with OBS, just duding along to my background music reminded me. I need to do some tests and line up the like music or the like computer sounds with my voice so that I can do karaoke. Cause I know typically OBS will not play both sounds at the exact same time. So then when you're like singing along to something, it then becomes pretty obvious. So you'll have to set like a delay basically with the like audio sounds that are coming from the computer itself so that it lines up with the mic. I think it's because like the mic has to process before going into it basically, because it's like a separate audio source outside of the software or whatever. So then there's like a little bit of a delay while the mic is like processing and sending over the information to OBS. So then you have to set a delay with all the other audio sources so that they're delayed at the same amount of time. I think that's how that works. Something like that. I'm not a technology expert, so I could be wrong. But yeah, I gotta mess with that stuff because I'd like to do music things. But it just feels like a lot of effort. So I haven't gotten around to it yet. ginormous doggo eyes. Doggo eyebrows. I don't like either of these. That's better. Yeah, that looks better. That looks roughly right. Of course, I'm drawing them a little smaller than they are in the original, but my proportions in general are just a little less exaggerated. Strawberry's got a very like cartoony, exaggerated style, which is a lot of fun. I want to zoom in on here so I get these shapes right. It's a round bead and then a peanut shape. And then a round bead and then a bone. Okay, I'm actually going to lighten this layer so I can draw the bone on top of this. There we go. Let's actually move this part down a bit. There we go. Not quite. Trying to avoid having any tangents. That's fine. Okay, then a round bead. Actually, it's just round beads for the rest of it then. That works. And then erase this and this. Ta-da! Easy. Now coloring. I always start with the skin tone. My workflow for coloring goes, I start with the furthest back color and then go forward. So like, skin tone is like the base layer basically, the farthest back. And then you've got like, socks and skirt are under the shirt. So I usually will do like, you know, maybe the socks first and then the skirt and then the shirt because the shirt's over the skirt. So like I usually end up doing pants first. And then the hair I do last because it's like, to me it's like the top furthest out on the outside layer. But then eyes are an exception. I usually do eyes as like the highest layer because when I'm like rendering, it doesn't matter as much when I'm not rendering, but it's just ends up being my workflow anyway because I'm used to it. But when I'm rendering, I put the most detail into the eyes, so I kind of save them for last. So then I'll, you know, go with the same process for rendering where I start with the skin and then I go up in the layers and then I finish off with the eyes. Not really sure why I started doing it that way, but that's just what makes sense in my brain. And because this is the lowest layer, I can get away with bleeding into the layers that are gonna go on top of it. With this line art style though, the coloring process can be a good bit slower because I can't just like select and fill. I mean, I could to start with, but then it's gonna cause all these white gaps because the line art is not solid. And I don't like how that looks when you end up coloring it all in, and then you've got these white gaps between all the colors. So I fill in the edges by hand when I'm doing this line art style. But I kind of like it because it's like a coloring book. Like, the coloring process is kind of like a meditative process almost. Like, it's nice, kind of calming. So when I don't feel like putting in that effort, then I'll do my like inked line art, this style. And then that's easier to just select and fill. Like this. And then you don't have any gaps. But sometimes it's fun to just color in normally. I don't know what that sigh was for. It made it sound like I'm exhausted. You know how they say that, like, a pet will take on traits of their owner? And then you'll have, like, similar personalities. Hello, Wedyon! Welcome! Yeah, so me and my dog, we don't exactly have the same personality, but I feel like we do have some things in common. Like, he always sighs so dramatically as if his life is suffering, but he'll be like comfy and cozy and nothing is wrong, and he just lets out this really loud and I'm like, you know what, dog, me too. So I feel like I sigh all the time, and it's not like I'm exhausted or something's wrong, I just sound like it. I've literally had people be like, are you okay? What's wrong? And I'm like, nothing, I just felt like sighing. So, yeah, I relate to my dog in that sense. He's also just over dramatic though. I'm gonna fill this in yellow before I do the stripes. The stripes are just pure white. I might use an off-white because I rarely use pure white. Fun fact, I think using pure white is not as big of an issue as most, like, pro-level artists will tell you, or more experienced artists. I feel weird saying pro-level talking about myself because I'm not exactly a professional artist, but I'm like one step away from getting an art degree, so that logically makes me kind of pro-level, but I don't feel like I'm pro-level. It's kind of weird, but anyway. I have to keep reminding myself that I really am pro-level in some regards. Like, my realism actually is pro-level. I just usually draw in a very stylized, cartoony style that feels less professional because it's, like, simplified and looks like it takes less effort. But, it actually realistically doesn't, because I've spent years building up this style and trying to perfect it, and still haven't perfected it. Versus my realism, I learned in art school from one class and went, oh, I can draw this. Because I just already had the art skills from drawing cartoons, apparently. But it makes me feel like I'm not pro-level when I technically am, because I'm like, this cartoon style takes no effort, it's easy. This isn't pro-level, but it's like, a lot of artists can't do that kind of stylization. But Regardless, that was a tangent. Thought the pure white was just for animation. I don't think that animators usually use pure white. You wish you had a pet, you always wanted a chameleon or a bearded dragon. I love bearded dragons. We've had bearded dragons, and they're great. They're like puppies. They're cuddly. They like to like sit on your shoulder or behind your neck or on your chest and just nap. They're super sweet. I love them. No, but using pure white is generally avoided in professional art spheres, and it's one of those things that they'll like tell all beginner artists, like, you can't use, it's like an art rule that's like a absolute to most people. You can't ever use pure white or pure black. You always want to use an off-white or a like off-black. I don't think that's a real term, but you get the idea. Because like in real life, you don't have this pure white. You don't really see it for the most part. What you end up seeing usually is more like something like this color or this color. Like, these are what we end up seeing as white usually. Right now they don't look white because they're on the context of a white background, but they end up looking white in real life with the context of other natural colors. So it's typically considered a rule that you avoid using just stark white, stark black. And I'm not that intense about it. It's like one of those things where in most cases it's better to use like an off-white rather than a pure white, but it's not an absolute. There are exceptions to every rule, and like in this case, in this like little doodle right here, I don't think this being pure white takes away from this at all. I think it's perfectly fine. It doesn't just, it's not distracting. It doesn't feel quote unquote like it's not real white or something. This is already like bright, cutesy, saturated kind of pastel colors. Like, it's not a quote unquote realistic design. I don't think there's anything wrong with this white being pure white. It doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't take me out of the art. But if you're trying to do like realism and make a scene feel real and someone's wearing like a white shirt, then you don't want to use pure white, because then it's gonna feel too stark. It's not gonna feel natural. So it really just depends on the situation. I generally use an off-white more for like rendering purposes, because it's just easier to make something look like properly rendered. You can get highlights when you don't have a pure white. It works better for my personal art flow. But I think for these kinds of simple cartoony drawings, it doesn't really matter. Pure black thing does have a little bit of merit. Black line art was holding you back for so long. Yeah, I get that, but like, also look at my line art. You see what color this is? You see, maybe you can't see because it's not pure, it's like kind of translucent, but like I almost always use pure black line art. Sometimes I do color it, and I really like the look of colored line art. It has a much more soft look. But the reason I use bold black line art is because I want a bold cartoony style. So it's not that it's a bad choice of color, it just depends on the style you're going for. And then I, straight up, I'm gonna literally pull this up right now as an example. I have this comic where in most of the art, don't use pure black. But there's one exception within this comic. And I'm gonna see if I can show you guys. I'll show this too, just to show an example of not using pure black. So this is a little cave scene, obviously. She's going in with her flashlight and everything's dark. So I have it fading off into quote-unquote black, but this is not pure black. It's a really dark blue, as you can see here. So in most cases in this comic, my black is not actually pure. It's not virgin black. It's gray or blue or purple, really more like a gray blue. But then the one exception is, if it'll load, give it a second, it's a big file. This character is like literally a void. And I wanted him to feel unnatural. And like he doesn't really belong here. He's kind of messing up the fabric of space, essentially. So he is pure white and pure black. And then his little scene where he's released here, I even put her in all white because it's like he's just absorbing everything in his path, kind of. Like he's just taking over this space. And she's kind of getting absorbed by that in this frame. And then you see him leaving, and he's surrounded by other colors that are supposedly dark colors, like this is space, but he stands out because he's pure black, and he looks almost not right, like he doesn't belong in the style, and that's intentional. Because that's the vibe I wanted. And I did have one person give me critique when I was in this class. This was for one of my college classes. One person tried to give the critique that he shouldn't be pure black because, you know, it makes him look like, you know, he doesn't fit in with everything else. And then everybody else was like, no, but I like that though, because it feels intentional. Because that was the intent with this. And I very politely nodded and said, okay, and didn't listen to the critique because that was the idea. And I think it works exactly how I wanted it to in this situation. So, yeah, it differs depending on the style. So that's why I have issues with those, like, art rules, because they're not actually rules, they're guidelines, and there are always situations where you should not listen to the guidelines, because then you can get something more creative. You just have to kind of learn the rules so you can break them. I know people say that all the time, but that's kind of the reality of creating things and making your own unique style and your own unique things and your own unique designs. Like, you learn the guidelines so that you can learn how to effectively break them and do something unique in a way that works. Art school doesn't teach you that later part. They don't teach you the breaking the rules. They just teach you the rules. So that ends up with a lot of people coming out of art school going, you can't ever do this thing, because they didn't learn how to break the rules. They just learned the rules. Okay. It always feels a little silly when I say something that sounds negative towards art school when I literally went to art school, but I feel like a lot of people who went to art school are pretty critical of art school. Like, I already had these issues with art school when I decided to do it. But I went in knowing that, and knowing there's value to things they say, but not to listen to them like they're gospel. Because I taught myself art beforehand. And really, you should teach yourself art before going to art school. Because you're kind of expected to already be at a certain level when you go in. But, yeah, it's always funny being like, yeah, my professors tell me to do this, and I think they're wrong. Question, what do you think about tracing to learn? Usually when you draw hands or anything difficult, you trace over the reference, then draw on your own because you generally can't draw without doing it. I think it is a perfectly valid way to learn, as long as you're not, like, you know, then posting the traced version and calling it your own. It doesn't matter what you do behind closed doors when you're learning. Like, you can trace, you can draw over someone's art, you can try to copy someone's style to learn how they draw. as long as you're then taking that knowledge and applying it to your own art instead of passing it off as your own art, no issue with it at all. I would say over time, you should try to get to a point where you can draw hands without doing that. But that'll come with practice. You'll get there over time. It's definitely one of those things where you kind of just have to teach your hand how to make the shapes, how to build them up, how to create them properly. And then once you get experienced enough and you understand it well enough, then you won't need the tools, the guidelines anymore, and you will be able to just do it yourself. But, you know, a lot of people still use references well into their professional careers and stuff like that. I do also think that you should be able to create without a reference, but pull up references when you need them. But again, a learning tool that you will need less the more you practice, you know, making art without it. So it's nothing wrong with like any kind of learning tool, really. As long as the learning tool is actually helping you, not hindering you. Something that actually might be pretty helpful for you. I'm gonna see if I can, let's see, hand reference, if I can spell properly. I'm gonna just pull up a hand real quick to illustrate what I'm saying. My computer's real laggy right now, I don't know why, but please let me know if stream gets laggy. It looks like it's fine. Just having issues with Google, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna pull up this hand. So here's something I would probably recommend for you. If you're having an issue drawing hands without tracing the shape, try doing this and see if this will help you. So you've got your reference, obviously. Instead of just tracing the outline, try breaking down the shapes and see like how things are connected to each other. And that might help you to like then be able to take that information and be able to just draw hands without tracing, because you kind of understand the basic shapes, and then you can, you know, take that and without having a reference in front of you, then you can be like, okay, here's my palm, and then you can, you know, kind of work from there once you have those shapes worked out. It should make it a lot easier for you from there. Kind of understand how these things connect to each other and how they can be broken down. That can be a really good tool to have. So yeah, I would definitely recommend trying that. Pull up several hand images in different positions and try to break down the individual shapes of it. I think that could be a good practice tool for you. That might help. You're welcome. That sometimes is still kind of what I do. Like, when I'm drawing a hand, I usually start with like, you know what? This isn't my sketching pencil, so it feels weird. I'll often start with something like this, or like that. And these are my fingers. This is my palm. And then I go from there, and I attach the thumb, and then I, you know, separate the fingers. So yeah, even I do that still. I use the basic shapes first and then go from there. Hello, welcome, Alicia. Please correct me if I said that wrong. Welcome in. Sorry, you just missed my advice on how to draw hands. But we're doing art fight attacks. I'm working on a cutesy little doggo girl here. What is my next thing? Skin. Okay. I described my basic workflow with coloring things in, and then I completely broke it. But with this, I'm less worried about, like, the order of how I color things in, because I'm not really planning on shading this. If I do, it'll be, like, the most simple, basic shading on, like, the skin and maybe some major shadow areas. So I'm not separating everything. Like, usually every single color or every layer of item I'll put on a different layer so that then it's easier to render later. But if I'm not rendering, it doesn't really matter. Okay, this is a different color. At first I thought these were the same color because I just saw them as blue from far away, but it's actually a different blue. I have to decide what I'm using for the white so that I can color in these stripes. So usually I'll take like the skin tone and then put it all the way almost to the corner so it's like almost pure white. And that's usually what I do for the white, because the skin is like the most neutral color. So it ends up making a pretty natural looking white. Okay, that's good enough. I'm also noticing that the ends here are pink. So I gotta, oh, actually I have some pink on here already. Gotta grab this pink. Fix that. See, now you can tell the difference. It looks slightly yellow compared to the stark white. But I'll color in the background later, and then it won't look yellow anymore. It'll just look white. Gotta do her socks. Where'd you get the OCs from? So I'm pulling these from Art Fight. This one is Strawberry's character, Peanut. And I have my Art Fight here pulled up. So I have some characters bookmarked on here, and I'm pulling up their references from my bookmarks and then pulling that into OBS. So yeah, I've got a whole bunch of characters here I'm working on, and then I'll be posting them to Art Fight once I'm done with them. She's so cute. Okay, now that we've done the stripes, now we need to color in her skirt. I'm actually going to hide the white background so that I can make sure I fill this in all the way, because it's hard to see where the end of the white is when the background's white. I feel like I'm already getting hungry, and it's not dinner time yet, and I planned on streaming for quite a bit longer, and I think Arashi's making dinner later, which means it'll be a late dinner. Maybe I should get a snack at some point. My body doesn't like meal times, it likes just eating when it feels like it times, apparently. I think I am gonna do a separate layer for her t-shirt just so I can cheat and lock the layer to do these pink strips at the edges. He's smiling because he's happy that he's starving me. He wants me to starve. What's dinner? Listen. You want me to starve. An old man like me who hardly has strength as it is. You need inspo? I think he's making pasta, but I'll let him answer for real, because I don't actually know. He just asked me if we have crushed tomatoes, which means he's probably making tomato sauce, which means he's probably making pasta. He made tacos last night. I really should start cooking myself more. But I'm not the one who buys groceries, so, we never have specific ingredients, and I never know what ingredients to ask for when the people who do go grocery shopping. So, I don't know how to cook when I don't have my own ingredients that I've picked out. My cooking skills are limited because I have limited cooking experience, unfortunately. Oh, flatbread pizza. Yeah, that's the other thing that he could be making with sauce. That's good. That sounds yummy. Rice with chicken, yummy. Pasta will probably be the go-to if budget says no. Yeah, it makes sense. Fresh bread and mozzarella. Ooh. So we can have mozzarella toast. Is there a name for that? Wait, what's the name for, like, mozzarella toast? I know it has a name when it's, like, mozzarella and tomato. But I guess it's not that when it doesn't have the tomato. And also, yeah, I am blanking on what it's actually called, which is why I haven't named it. But it's an Italian thing. Greens are good. Cilantro's good. Yeah, cilantro's good for you, and it's good with chicken too. Quesadillas are good too. You have a tomato? Oh, so you are gonna do it proper. Nice. You know what tomatoes now make me think of? Guys, I'm so, like, office pilled. It's bad. Every conversation I have comes back to The Office somehow. It's a problem. It's like an addiction. I never understood Office fans until I watched it, and now it's like, I can't go a day without making 5 references. It's ridiculous. But now, every time, because I've watched the extended episodes with the deleted scenes, so this is a deleted scene moment. But there's a bit where Angela's blaming everyone for stealing her food because she keeps, like, putting her food in the fridge with her name labeled on it, and then people keep eating it, and then she gets really mad because people are eating her food. And I think because she's being such a brat about it, people do it more. But she has a tomato in the fridge with her name on it, and Jim uses it to make grilled cheese. And so he's... Oh, wrong layer. So he's talking to Pam about the ingredients in his grilled cheese. This is like when they go up to the roof and they're watching fireworks and eating his famous grilled cheese sandwich. And she's like, "What's in this?" And he's naming all the ingredients, and he's like, "Tomato. We actually happen to have one in the fridge. I just had to wipe off the name Angela." And Pam goes, "I guess that's a tomato company." And that's all I think of when someone mentions tomatoes, is that scene, and also Angela later on being like, my craft group thinks I'm negative. I'm gonna try to be nicer. And then with like the most disdain in her voice goes, someone took my tomato. So that's now what I think of now when I think of tomatoes. Like, everything makes me think of The Office now. It's so bad. Not that good at cooking either. Use premixed spices. Yeah. I will say some pre-made, like, spice packets, like, that come in meats and stuff are pretty good. It is nice to be able to mix spices yourself. Really, what I think I would recommend is looking at those pre-made mixes and looking at the specific ingredients in them. Because then you can kind of get an idea of, like, what spices work well together and what spices you like based on what's in your mixes. And then maybe going from there, figuring out how to use them yourself. Just because that gives you more versatility in what you can make. But it's definitely a learning process. I only know how to use certain spices. I have like a go-to set of spices I use, and then I avoid other things because I don't really know how to combine the flavors, because I don't really know what flavors they all have or what mixes together well. It's a process. Pink. Oh, I forgot to color in the bones on her shoes. Okay, that's next after I do this. Oh, I didn't lock the layer. That was the whole reason for putting the shirt on a different layer. Okay, there's that. Cute. Shoes are next. Finishing them. Wait, that's the wrong layer. Oops. This layer is what I want. See, I messed myself up because my layer order is not my usual layer order. Oh, nice. Yeah, I commented on, ooh, who was it? It was, Nate Black. It was Nate Black. His, he has a channel that's, like, advice for YouTubers for, like, growing your channel. And it's, like, the only one of those kinds of channels that I watch. He doesn't upload, like, constantly, so that's one reason. Like, when he does upload, it's easy for me to watch. He has, like, 10-15 minute long videos usually. They're not super long. And then it's, like, not all the time, not constant. So it's, like, you know, easy to be like, oh, he posted another video. Sure, I'll watch it. It doesn't feel like a commitment. And, like, one of the reasons I don't watch those channels is because it's, like, I know the information by now. I've heard a million people give the same YouTube advice. So, really, the only information that I ever need from any of those is when there's, like, a new YouTube feature or a new trend, like something that used to work is not working anymore, or something like that. When there's some kind of change, that's the only time I really need any of the information. And then Nate always covers that, so I get that information from him. But just because I like the guy, I like his presence, and I like the way he gives advice, and, like, the fact that he actually uses, like, statistics and is smart about it is, like, that's why I kind of, like, trust him more than other channels, and I kind of like listening to him because he's just got personality. So I commented last time he posted a video, because it had been a while. He like took a break and then came back, posted another video. And I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen him in a bit. So I watched his video and then made a comment about how he's like the only one of those channels that I still return to. And it's always nice to see him still around. And then he liked my comment, and I felt happy. Because like, I like thinking about the fact that like when the creator likes your comment, they're probably smiling reading that. Like, I like to think about that. That like, your comment made the creator happy somehow. I like that thought. So it makes me happy that I made someone else happy. I've definitely gotten likes from other creators when I've posted on their videos. It's always fun. It's always nice. Although my most happy achievement, is that the word? Proudest achievement in those regards is specifically I have gotten a like from, I think, one Hololive girl, two Hololive girls? I think two Hololive girls. I've gotten like a like from two Hololive girls, I think, on my fan art of them. And then a comment from one Holostars boy, and then I've gotten my art shown on the stream of my favorite Holostar. So that that's like my brag. My like, hee guess what? Senpai noticed me. Oh, and then one of them, early on, one of the Holostars guys, one of the ones who's graduated, but like his first week or first 2 weeks or something like that after debuting, he read my comment in chat out loud. And these are like big streamers, so their chat is like going burr constantly, like busy chats. And he picked out my comment because he like asked a question about the game he was playing, and it was one of my favorite games, so I answered his question, and he read my comment word for word, and I was like, that was me. So yeah, that's my list of proud senpai noticed me moments that I try not to brag about too much with my friends who actually know who they are, because I don't want to make people too jealous. Honk! Honk! Yes. Yes, indeed. Try to like or reply to every comment you get, but nobody comments on your videos. Wow. Wow. You're just fishing for attention. Wow. Wow. Trying to sound pathetic and sad so people feel bad for you. But same. Not in the no one comments, but in the I reply to everybody. The only times I haven't replied to comments is when I've felt like they're not worth replying to. Which sounds bad, but like, I've had the, wow, this character looks just like Sailor Moon. I don't reply to those kinds of comments. I think there's like another kind of comment that I've like, has been like kind of annoying, and so I've ignored, and I forget what it is. But what's annoying about ignoring comments that you don't like is that they will never leave the recent comments thing on YouTube Studio, because you didn't like react to them. If YouTube thinks that you haven't noticed them, so it keeps showing up on my YouTube Studio, like in my face, like, hey, you haven't paid attention to these comments, look at these comments, look at these comments. And I'm like, I know, I ignored them for a reason. It's really annoying. I wish you could mark them some way so they would go away, but it is what it is. Is what working? Not a huge commenter. You have to start doing that to brag if that ever happened. Yeah. Yeah. You do have to comment in order for your comment to get a reaction. But, you know, that's fine. I am usually a silent viewer. I'm not usually a very active chatter when it comes to viewing content. It's just every now and then when I feel like dropping a comment. I also feel like I'm more outgoing in the comment sections now that, like, after becoming a creator myself. I guess for two reasons. One is I know the experience of being a creator and scrolling through the comments and enjoying every comment. But also because it's, in a way, is almost like networking. Even though it's not usually gonna come back around to me. I think it's like it's just like I feel like I am existing on the platform more, and I feel like I'm kind of supposed to exist more on the platform, and it feels like kind of silly to ask people to comment on my videos if I'm not commenting on other people's videos. So I think that's one reason why I comment a little more than I used to. Oh, your fish for attention? Nope. Nope, it's not working. Nobody's gone and commented on your videos. Nope, definitely not. They're definitely not gonna leave my stream to go comment on your videos, because why would anybody leave my stream to go to your channel? Jeez. I gotta open my drink. I'm getting thirsty. There we go. Does anybody else do this thing where, like, when you have a carbonated drink in a can, you, like, tap the top of the can before opening it to, like, make the bubbles go down or lessen the carbonation? I don't know if it actually helps or not. Just someone once told me that it does, so now I do it, like, basically out of habit. That sure is liquid death. I used to hate carbonated water drinks, and they've kind of grown on me. They were like too light in flavor for me. It just tasted like water with like the slightest hint of a flavor, and I thought it was gross. And I didn't like carbonated water either. Like, the carbonation without flavoring tasted gross to me. But I've gotten more used to it and become a little more fond of just a very light flavor in my water. Because I pretty much won't drink plain straight water, unfortunately. You never heard of this? I feel like it's a niche thing. I feel like most people haven't heard of it. And I don't know if it actually helps or if it's like a wives' tale kind of thing. I don't know what other term to use for it. One of those things that's like people do it because they think it works, but it's just a placebo and it doesn't actually work. And I feel like I have no way to prove whether or not it actually works. I just do it anyway. Carbonation is spicy. Spicy carbonation. And my favorite term for neurodivergent is neurospicy. Enjoy when comment under old video gets replied. No. Commented on a whipping guy video with a link to another video. Testing the throwing technique you wanted to see. Got a heart badge. Yeah, that's always nice. I think also, in that kind of situation, I think creators like to see that their older comment is still getting views. I know, like, when I see that in my analytics, that makes me happy too. Like, sometimes my video that's like doing the best in a particular week is like an older video, and I'll be like, oh, that like is still showing up to people? People are still watching that? And then every now and then I'll get a comment on an older video, and it's pretty nice just to see that your videos kind of still exist in the YouTube space and people like still like them a long time later. That can be pretty awesome. I just got a comment, speaking of which, just the other day on a video from like years ago, like my first speed paint on this channel, and it's not my best work because it's from years ago. It was from before I like officially debuted as like a streamer slash VTuber slash whatever you want to call me. So I was like not consistently making content yet. I wasn't streaming yet. My kind of presence of myself didn't exist. Like, I wasn't talking to anybody. I just posted this speed paint with background music and no voiceover because I wanted to have something on the channel. I was like getting tired of not posting anything because there was a whole process involved with, you know, starting this channel and stuff. So I started just posting some speed paints with no voiceover, just to have like something out there. And this was like the first of those videos that I uploaded a long time ago. And just the other day someone commented on it and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot this video even existed. It's easy to forget. Yeah. Yeah. Streams can be easy to forget to like, for sure. I oftentimes forget to like streams. But you know, the most important metric is view duration rather than likes, so it's not really a big deal if you forget to like a stream. It's nice to see likes on them because then it's like, you know, you get to that confirmation that people are interacting with it and they're showing support in that way. And it can be like a slight boost for you in the algorithm, but really view duration and like stream interactions like comments and whatnot, that's really going to do more for your channel, get you more into the algorithm. So those are the more important metrics. So even if you're watching a stream all the way through, not liking the video, not commenting, not interacting at all, that view, those view hours, that is actually doing a lot for that channel. That's like the most important thing. The typical view duration that I see, like from my analytics at least, it seems like most people will watch like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something along those lines, and then they'll dip out. That's a pretty average view duration. So if you're watching a stream for more than like 15 minutes, you're doing good stuff for that stream statistics. Even 15 minutes is great. Like, that's better than nothing. And honestly, I don't even get upset about people popping in for 5 minutes and leaving. I've had people come in, say hi in chat, and then dip out pretty much right away, and it's just nice to see the face there, whether they're a new person or an old person. Every view counts. Which color do I use here? I'm gonna use this color, I think. How long have I been streaming? Like a hour and a half? Roughly? Something like that? Something like an hour and a half? So it's taken me about an hour and a half to get this far, and I'm almost done with this character. Just keeping track of how long this drawing's taken me, because it's always nice to know how long it takes me to draw certain things. I want to give her little blushies. I like to turn this pen up to a larger size for blushies, because then you get that kind of rough texture. And it's like almost like it's blending out without actually having a brush that blends out. Like, it's still a solid brush, but it's just a fun little texture. That's fine. Okie dokie. Maybe I'll do like a little bit of pinkness under the band-aid too, since like a little bruising going on. Don't actually remember how long you've been subscribed, but probably since one of the first redesign vids. Oh, nice! That's awesome. Well, it's glad to see you in chat and get to talk to you a bit. I really need to do another redesign video. I've done some recording, but the reason I haven't really been working on videos the past like couple weeks is because I did some recording and then I unplugged my USB drive that I save all that stuff onto, and I put it down and then it disappeared. And I couldn't find it, so I couldn't work on my videos, and then I couldn't really record anything new to work on either because I have limited space on my computer, which is why I save everything to the USB, and I didn't have the USB to save things on. So I was in this like, well, I hope I find that. And then I can actually work on videos when I do. But I found it today, actually. So I'll have to go back to editing those recordings, and I think I have some other stuff I want to record. I always, like, second guess myself when I do, like, voice recordings, because what I've done is like some more video essay style kind of, not quite video essay, but more of that kind of like talking head style versus my usual design videos, and I always second guess that style of video because I'm like, does anybody actually care about this information? Am I like making sense in my rambling? Is this actually good content? And my character designs are obviously the most popular because it's just a fun video format, and you can listen to my ramblings less and just pay attention to the art. It's a pretty fun video format, I think. Like, I would really enjoy watching that kind of content, so I definitely understand it being the most popular. But then it kind of leaves me like, is it really worth making the other kind of content? Because I don't know if anybody actually wants the other kind of content. Or if I'm just fooling myself into thinking I have something to say. But this is bothering me. I don't like it. I'm gonna restart. But I need to just stop second guessing it and just make it. And then if it flops, it flops. And then I know. But if I never post it, I never know. So I need to stop doing that. She is so shiny. All the highlights. Now I want to bring some highlights back into her ears again. There we go. More subtle than before. That might be overkill. And maybe I should lessen the highlights, but I don't know. I think because there's no shading, it feels more empty without them. I don't know why I did these on the same layer, but that's okay. I'm gonna actually add these colors in here, but in my own eye shading style. Let me zoom in here. Get a bit of review. There we go. Nice. Shiny. Okay, I kind of do want to do just a few little shadows, I think. Just in the, like, darkest areas. that. Probably here. Here. And then, where's this layer? There's that layer. This teal. I want more blue in that, I think. Yeah. And this too. This is the same color. Oh. Is it a different layer? No, it's the same layer. It's just both of these are on that layer. There we go. And then just her hair. And do just a few little shadows. Like here. Here. And here. Maybe here. Because I like how that kind of divides the layers, so you can tell that's like behind the other one. I kind of also want to do a little bit on the edge of the ears here to make them look a little more three-dimensional. Yeah, just a little bit. Oh, and I should do this little ponytail too, just the edge of it there. Nice. Okie dokie, and then her tail just right here where it kind of peeks under her everything. Nice. Okay, that's basically it. Just some highlights on her eyes, and maybe her cheeks. This is an issue. What's going on here? There. Okay. Better. Now highlights. It's kind of hard to lay out these highlights that are like under the hair. That kind of works. And then on her cheeks, I like to do a lighter version of the skin tone rather than white, so they stand out slightly less. And then we can do that maybe on her knees too. Thank you. I think that's done. Ooh, I should shade the inside of her sleeve here too. So I'll shade this green with an orange. And the pink with a more purpley color. That might be too dark. No, actually, I don't think it's too dark. It's just very purple. I usually go less extreme with the color difference, but I like the extreme difference for like how little shading there is in this one. yeah, I think that's it. Now I just need like a real simple background. So I think I'm gonna start with a square. Like that. Now we have to choose what color we actually want it to be. Might just play around with a few things until I decide what looks right. I don't think that. Maybe I'll do a purple? Because she doesn't have purple in her design, but purple is not too different from colors she does have. So, that still looks really similar to her, so maybe I need something more different. I could just go with this same blue. I do think that works. Yeah, I might just use that. I kind of like that blue. And then I want to do something in the background. Start to feel like this light yellow may be your favorite color. It's nice, isn't it? I really like this soft, like really pastel yellow color. It was like trending maybe 2 summers ago that it was like the color of the season and it was everywhere. And I was like, ooh, I gotta get something in this yellow color while it's like trending because I really like this color. But I was like waiting to find the right piece for my wardrobe because I was like, everything is in this color right now, so I'll look for something that really suits me and my style rather than just picking up anything in that color because it's easy to find. And then I didn't end up getting anything in that color, and now it's no longer trending, so it's harder to find. I'm like, darn. Should have taken more effort to find something while it was easy to find. But my style is not really trendy, so I feel like the trending color is hard to find in a style that works for my style, because it's typically the trending color is on the trending styles, and then the trending styles are not necessarily what I want to wear. Oh, woe is me, my life is so hard. Let's do peanuts. I think that'd be fun. Some peanut shape. Nope, that doesn't look right either. Okay. Amazing you came to really like it when coloring maps for your RPG. Ooh! I'd love to hear more about this RPG. What style of RPG? I'm curious. Beep-a-dee beep-bee. Okie dokie, we've got some peanuts, and then I want to do like paw prints maybe? Let's do one right here. Paw prints are kind of fun because they're like really natural, blurbular, not perfect shapes, so they're easy. Easy to draw. This also makes me think of Blue's Clues, probably because they're blue paw prints. Oh, I miss Blue's Clues. I know it still exists, but not the way it used to. Tabletop, nice, nice, nice. Come up with your original settings from time to time. Love it. I need to work on my own original setting for D&D. Because I always have friends who want to play D&D, but nobody who is brave enough to DM. Which is exactly why Arashi is a DM. He had the same situation and he went, you know what? Everyone wants to play and nobody has a DM, so I'll become the DM. And now I'm in that situation where I'm like, if everyone wants to play but nobody wants to DM, I should just do it myself. I've been playing for long enough. I know all the rules. I know how the game works. I'm the veteran player in most of the games I end up in, so I might as well just learn to DM. But I always have like art block. I can never think of like what to do for my world building and my plot lines and stuff, so I just haven't done it yet. Like, I have the beginnings of a world, but I haven't gotten far with it. Yes, hello, he is the forever DM. I kind of want to give some like little speckles to these peanuts to give them a peanutty texture. Arso, so cute. Thank you. Welcome in. We're making some art fight attacks. This one is for my viewer Strawboyery. He's not in chat today, but this is his character Peanut. She's very cute, and I think we're finished with her actually. And you know what? As much as I was just talking earlier about how black line art is nice, I think I do want to color it this time. Just because I like the idea of this antenna hair being brown like the rest of her hair. So let's see if we want to just color that or the whole thing. I think what I'll do, this is a style I do on occasion, I'm gonna color this in all the way. I want that to be brown. But then I'll take an airbrush and I'll just add a dusting of this color. So there's some variation in the line art and it's not all like this light brown color. There's still some darkness to it, because I think just fully coloring it in makes it too dark for this particular drawing. But a little bit of color variation is nice. And I could also do this with some of these other colors. I'm being kind of loose here on purpose. I'm gonna take a dark version of this yellow too. Okay, and we have a second layer for some of these things. Oop. We don't want that. We want this. Okay. Her face is here. Her eyelashes, I think I'm gonna keep black. So they're nice and bold and they grab your attention. Do what I do, start with one aspect, let the ideas cascade, brainstorming deities the other day, and end up with the entire prehistory. See, I should probably make some deities because I feel like that would really help me to develop the rest. Because I've kind of done that, but then lost ideas. Like, I have an idea for a particular area that's like an ancient dragon's lair, essentially. But nobody knows that it's an ancient dragon that's there. It's just this weird natural phenomena that's like nobody goes there because it's dangerous, and then if you travel there you find out it's actually a dragon's little hiding place. And that would be a great like one-shot mission for a party, like one episode of a game kind of a thing. But then after I did that, I'm like, well, now what? I have that place, but how do they get started and get in that direction? So I have like individual locations that I've kind of brainstormed, but no like plot lines worked out or anything. But I think if I create some deities, then I'll have to create the people who worship them, create their like churches or their whatever system they use, and then that goes into the society that's related, and that's probably a better branching off point. There's a really old Swedish D&D like, but it was duck races that all look like Donald Duck. I freaking love it. Big issue is a lot of fantasy is how to make your default human race interesting. I feel like you don't. Yeah. It can be an issue. I feel like it's just a matter of make interesting societies. The humans are gonna just be human, and I feel like there's no way to make a human as interesting as an elf and a dwarf and I don't know, a tree person. Like, a human is gonna read to us as a human, and they're gonna seem more normal because humans are normal in real life. But if you then make an interesting society that is, you know, human people, and then they have a culture and they have a history, and that gets you kind of intrigued, I feel like that's, you know, that's good enough. Interesting without making another Roman Empire. Yeah. Everything comes back to the Roman Empire. I feel like the one nice thing about humans being kind of like generic and boring is that it does give you kind of a basic character to work with if you don't want to be too crazy. Like, I feel like human is a good base race to work with when you want kind of the everyman character, or you want to tone down the craziness of like the setting and the characters. Because you, with like TTRPGs, with everyone creating basically their own OC that they roleplay as, oftentimes parties feel like a collection of Mary Sues, because everyone wants to have the coolest backstory and the coolest character and the coolest weapons and the coolest race and all this stuff. And sometimes it can feel like it's just too much. So sometimes having like one person playing as a basic human who just has an endearing personality can be a nice like break in all that. And that's why I end up sometimes playing as basic humans. My last campaign that I played in, I was the only... Actually, no. There was me and one other person who were the two veteran players. He played as the goofy comic relief character, and I played as the basic human bard. And we probably had the two favorite characters. Like, I think both of our characters were the favorites of the party. Because the comedy relief is always funny. Everyone always loves the comedy relief. And he was like a gnome that, rather than looking like a D&D gnome, he looked like a garden gnome and was like 2 feet tall. And he was hilarious. And then my character was just like a sweet, soft, young guy who had never been on an adventure before, didn't know what he was getting into. So he was like the baby that everyone had to protect, basically. And I think the fact that he was a basic human kind of yielded well to that. So yeah, sometimes it can work well. Deities can be like secret deities that manipulate everyone from shadows, and no one really has a full understanding of what they are. That would be a great concept for a warlock's deity. Or, yeah, they can have like evil deities as their, yeah. So like a warlock who their deity who's given them power is this dark force that most people don't know about. That's kind of just working in the shadows. That's an idea. Alrighty, saving this before I forget. I have not saved the entire process. Fun fact, if my program crashes, my art's not saved. Actually, it's probably pretty much saved because Clip Studio Paint has a great autosave feature, but I oftentimes forget to save until the very end of the process. This has peanut for strawberry. Saved. Okay. There's that. And our next character... Do not save. Let's see. You like your deities that are married siblings? Very Greek of you. Alrighty, popping over here again. Pick our next character. I think I have 2 options here that I want to do. Either this one and do our little revenge attack. And that'll be a fun character to draw, but a little more involved probably because I do want to give them a revenge attack that's a little more close to what they gave me. Or we can do this guy, because I just think he'd be a lot of fun to draw. I have to look at his details. I actually didn't read his information because I wanted to do that like on stream right before I draw him. But he's fun. Look how fun he is. I might do this one. And then that other one I can really take my time with because I don't want to stream all day, and that took me probably an hour and a half to do the other one, so I have to expect the next one will take me a similar amount of time. And if I'm going to do a full body, like, not chibi, then that's going to take me longer. So the other one, if I started it on stream, I probably wouldn't be able to finish it on stream. This one I can probably finish it on stream, because he's a simple design. He's a little fire boy. His base is his weapon. I love this little doodle here of him using his base as a weapon. Boosted mode. Oh, so he has like a regular fire form. His name is Match. Match Burnmaker. I think that's funny. Okay, let's look at his story. He's one of the lead vocalists, lyricists, and the bassist of the alternative rock band Mist of Down, one of the most influential rock bands of the City of Dawn in the latest years. He is also one of the founders of the band, along with his stepsister, who we probably have linked here. No, we don't. Sometimes they have, like, connections here, but that's a new feature. So that's probably another character he has. Or they have. I actually don't know who this is. I don't know if there is a link. It says there's a link, but I think it's not actually a link. I don't know. His goal is to make music in order to inspire and help others, since it helped him get through his toughest times. He likes to wear punk and grunge outfits. Yeah, we're gonna be giving him a grunge outfit. That'd be fun to actually dress him up in a new look. We'll see what my brain decides to do. He likes grunge music but prefers other kinds of genres like pop rock, mostly alt rock. Favorite food is burnt pizza. I don't think alt rock actually means anything, because alt just means alternative and rock by default is alternative. Maybe that just means like emo and stuff like that. That's like not classic rock, more progressive rock. Physical features: he's a humanoid creature covered by fire. Body takes a dark ashy tone most of the time. Doesn't produce heat. But he can alter his own metabolism in order to produce more heat, turn it into red fire, and gain a little physical boost. This, however, leaves him exhausted afterwards. He eats combustible objects. Yeah, so his mouth's not super visible because of the fire. Yeah, so no mouth, which I could kind of tell, but I'm sure they specified that because some people would add it even though it's not supposed to be visible. Fun facts: most of his clothes are hand-me-downs from his stepsister. Okay, I'll probably look at their account and see if she's on here too, because that could probably help to see her design too if they're connected. You prefer the Elder Scrolls style of building religions, where a lot of them are just reinterpretations of the same deities. Also fun to find ways of butchering their names for various cultures. That's amazing. I love that idea that, like, depending on which, like, town or region you're in, they say the deity's name different. That sounds great. I've never thought of doing that, and I don't know why. I'm just reading the do's and don'ts real quick. Okay, pretty basic. I always like to read what they do and don't want to be done with their characters, just in case, even though I don't really do things that are typically listed in don'ts, because it tends to be, you know, no NSFW, no extreme gore, don't ship them with characters I haven't told you to ship them with, that kind of thing. And I don't really do that, I just draw the character. But, you know, sometimes they have specific things that are like, this character is supposed to be represented this way, or this specific detail is important, so make sure you include it. So I just like to double check in case there's something like that. And I do want to check and see. What happened? That's not what I clicked on. I tried to click on their account and it clicked on the, like, the homepage. Okay, that's what I wanted. There's only one other character and it's not her. Okay. Maybe they have a link to... Maybe they've removed that character and that's why they're not coming up or something. That's fine. We get the idea. So let's copy this reference. Okay. Pull this up. Oops. Does sound funny on a character without race. Yeah. Typically they have those permissions listed on like every character, so then it's more relevant to their other characters, but it is kind of funny when you have a character who's literal fire and you're saying don't change their skin tone. I don't list any of those kinds of things as my, like, permissions, but I kind of just expect people to not change my character's race. Come here. Beep 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 beep. Okay, let's see. What do we want to do with him exactly? It would be fun to give him a new outfit. I'm not gonna draw his base, I don't think. I'm really bad at drawing instruments. And, I'm not sure that I want to attempt that right now. So I think we're just gonna give him a fun pose. Casual sitting pose. Maybe we'll do one of these. And then I feel like I should draw what he's sitting on, so I kind of want to do like a... Oh, that's too thin. I don't know. Well, I could bring his leg in. Let's do this. Bring that all the way in, and then we can make this like a wall here. Of course, that means I have to have somewhat of a scene here for him to be in. Ugh, backgrounds. But just sitting on like a brick wall just feels very grunge to me. It just feels right. I'm gonna want his foot to stick out past that so we don't have a tangent. You have art on screen? Oh no, I didn't switch it over. Okay, wait. You guys missed this starting process, I'm sorry. Silly me, I forgot you were staring at a different screen. I feel like I should stick closer to the original style of his eyes rather than going with my usual style, because my usual style doesn't give like a full border around the whole eye, and that might look a little strange with the face being just a void, basically. I kind of want to do something fun with his outfit, but I'm also not the best at coming up with unique outfits for characters who are not mine. Might bring his shoulder up more. I feel like the classic flannel around the waist is kind of like punk slash grunge. A loose fitting shirt is a necessity with grunge style. Maybe I'll do like a layered, like he's got two shirts on top of each other. Part of me wants to give him like a denim vest and go like with the punk route, but then I feel like a vest with the flannel would be kind of a weird combination. He has to have big pants. Big pants are also a necessity. I want to do like a bunch of straps and stuff. Let's give him some pockets. And then shoes. Might just stick with his Converse. Actually, let's make this a little longer. Different fire color for different emotions? Ooh. That'll be fun. Guys, I'm hungry. Uh-oh. I want to eat food. But I can't have dinner yet. And I also don't want to spoil my dinner. This is bricks. It will be more bricks later. Like something like that. And then this needs a ledge here. A lip. Yeah. I'm gonna have to play with this perspective because I think it's slightly off, but it's whatever. I can fix it later. But I don't know what else to do with this background because I can't just have a wall with nothing behind it. So I need like the suggestion of something behind him. Still got an hour and a half of work. Yeah. And then I have to wait like an hour and a half for you to cook food. So I have to wait like 3 hours to eat dinner. I don't know what to put behind him. I can just do like some bushes, put like a garden back here. Or I don't know, what do you do with a grungy background? Chewing something could distract, yeah. I might even grab a snack to munch on during a stream. I might just extend this all the way. Just have to The wall going back into the distance. This is bricks. Now it feels like he's somewhere he shouldn't be because it's like a wall blocking something. I might just do like, ooh, the suggestion of some buildings behind him. At a bit of a distance. I don't really want to. I don't know. Maybe if I show like the top of it? No, definitely not that way. Burning city behind him. Well, yeah, that sure would be an implication. I don't know why I decided to do a background for this. This was a mistake. Maybe I will get rid of the wall and then I can not do a background. He does have a mischievous glint in his eye. True. I do think it would be kind of fun to have like graffiti back here to add to the vibe. But that also means I have to invent graffiti. I don't know. I might start just lining him and then leaving no background. Just have him like sitting on air and then see if I feel like adding in the background afterwards. No commitment. Yay. I do need to do more backgrounds more often. However, I'm trying to pump these out fast. This is not the time to be doing a background. Maybe I should give him a graphic. Okay. We're just gonna start with some basic line art on him. I do think actually I want to go with my pen, my classic pen for this one. He feels like he needs that bold line art. I'm not sure I like that. I do want to make sure I'm giving him enough of a head shape and not like cutting into where his head would be. I have Sam Does Arts' voice in my head being like, don't forget the cranium. Give them a cranium. Because that's something he comments on a lot when he's like critiquing people's art, is that they're either missing the cranium or they have too much cranium. Oh yeah, I lifted up his shoulders, so his head is being cut off. flower shape, please. Okay, there's that. That's not bad. His hand. I just got a Discord notification and my brain is saying, check it could be important, but I doubt it's important. Oh, it's Strawberry. Well, he's not important. He made some pretty cute art. I'll have to respond to that later. Not to let it distract me. Listen. Strawberry is important. He's like our most regular viewer. You want to scare him off and not have viewers? Ugh. Do you play visual novels? Technically a visual novel moments channel. Oh! I don't play them a lot, but I do want to play some on the channel because I stream with a Dell laptop that's like 7 years old and it can't stream video games. So I'm not able to do a lot of like solo gaming streams because I just can't do it on my computer. But visual novels like take a lot less processing power. A lot of them I think aren't even on Steam, and Steam just by itself takes a lot of processing, so it's part of the reason I can't play games on stream. And like even if a visual novel lags slightly, it's just images, so it's fine. So I do want to do some, but I haven't yet. So I just have to figure out which ones I want to play. I kind of want to do Needy Streamer Overdose. I know that's less of a visual novel and more of a character raising simulator. It's a little bit of a different thing, but it's a similar concept. It's all visual. And I have to look into some others to do. I could do Fate, like the original Fate that all the animes are based on. But I have to look into that one, figure out how to download it and everything. I'm willing to take suggestions if you know any interesting ones. My caveat is that I'm not a big, like, dating sim person. But like most visual novels are dating sim. So, basically, I either need to find some that are not, or where there's just a lot more to it than the romance. I just need something else to be invested in. Like, I could play Doki Doki Literature Club on the channel. That's one that I might have to censor it. I don't know if I'd be able to do it as a stream or if I would want to do it as videos because there's some stuff on it YouTube might not like. But that's like one I could do where, because it's like technically it's a dating sim, except it's not really a dating sim. It's about the story, and you end up not even able to date the characters after a set point. There's also other ones that's like totally partially about the dating, but also just they have an interesting story, so there's more to it than that. There's also like the goofy ones, like a Hatoful Boyfriend, the pigeon, or the bird one. I could play that one. That would be fun. Would you enjoy a voice one or one where you'd voice yourself? Really, I could do either one, I feel like. I don't think I'm really picky in that regard, because I like good voice acting, but I also don't mind voicing characters myself. I think either one, like, if I have to voice it myself, that's part of the content. If I don't have to voice it myself, I just get to listen to someone else talking. So I don't think either one is, like, preferable to the other one for me. We love random useless straps on pants. Or on clothes in general, really. You know, way too many. Grow as a kid to 18 until you take the test in high school? Huh. That's interesting. I'm tempted to look into one visual novel that I'm like kind of prepared to hate because I know it's a dating sim, and like very much so, but it's one that there's a manga based off of it, and I've read the manga, so I'm tempted to look into it to like learn the rest of the story, because I remember getting to the end of that particular manga, and there's like a few of them because it's a few different like story arcs, so I'm sure there's more context in the other versions of the manga, but I remember getting to the end of that particular one and being like, I understand nothing. What do you mean there's nothing left to read? Tell me what's going on, please. I want to know the lore. So I am tempted to look into the visual novel of that one. But I do remember there were like things about the manga that I liked and other things that I didn't like, and it was a little bit like edgy, but like not in like a it's dark way, but in like a it's silly edgy kind of thing, like immature edgy. But I liked the world building, and I liked some of the characters. So I don't know, it's one I might look into. Did like the growing up idea, but feels like taking a school assignment is the least accurate There might have been some kind of message to that, I'm not gonna lie, like, some message about how certain societies, like, view test scores as, like, the most important thing, and you've gotta score high on your tests, and whatever you score high on your test scores is gonna be the rest of your life, kind of a situation. Maybe it was trying to comment on something like that, but I don't know. Because I don't know how they handled it in the game. I'm not so sure I like the flare of that. I know flare jeans are kind of in right now, but they're not really my thing. Just oversized. That's better. Oh, of course there is. Shoe. I kind of like drawing shoes. I know a lot of people disagree, but I like shoes. Let's give them some laces. Just a little hint of laces. I'm so tempted to make his shoelaces untied and the laces dangling down, but he doesn't have untied laces in the picture, so I'm just gonna not do that. Because I don't know if he's the type to leave his shoes untied. Oh, I wanted to do like another buckle down here. I'm gonna wanna erase that a bit after I decide on the flow of this thing. There we go. That's better-ish. Yeah. Literally called Growing Up. I recall there being some mini games, so not a pure visual novel, and never got a high score. Maybe I'll look that one up. That might be interesting. And I'll have to see if, like, I think that they were trying to make some kind of message with the weird test score, or if it was just a way to put game mechanics into the thing or something. Do you like musicals? Yeah, I like musicals. My favorite musical is Phantom of the Opera. I'm a kind of a classic musical person. But I like some modern musicals too. I am a fan of Hamilton. I know that's technically still older at this point, because it was quite a few years ago that it came out at this point, but still to me it's like a modern musical. Definitely more modern style, because it's like hip-hop. But Hamilton's good. The Greatest Showman is a newer one that's good. But I like a lot of classic theater too, like Phantom of the Opera and Les Mis. And like Disney, obviously. I've watched like most Disney movies. Have I seen 6? I have not seen 6. I think Arashi was talking about that one. I think someone was, at least. Maybe not Arashi, but someone was. I kind of know nothing about it, but I think people have told me I should watch it. So, I'll have to look into it. Hello? I also have to make Arashi watch Project Hail Mary. I know that's not related to musicals and all, but it like just came out on streaming and he hasn't seen it yet, so gotta make him watch it because I quite enjoy Project Hail Mary, and I very much enjoy that it's all practical effects. We've been complaining a lot about movies not doing practical effects anymore and how it just feels so much more genuine than like CGI. And then lo and behold, Project Hail Mary comes out and it's all practical effects, and it's kind of like a return to old like movie format and presentation. And it's quite good. I like it. Yeah, I'll definitely have to look into 6. Les Mis is one of my favorites. Phantom of the Opera is number 1. Les Mis is probably number 2. Ooh, what the heck? My program just closed. Okay. So, Les Mis was, I think, the first musical that I saw live outside of, like, high school level performances. So I had seen, you know, high school plays, I had seen really amateur performances, but I had never seen like a professional performance before. It was a local theater, so it wasn't like Broadway or anything, but a local theater of ours that they're professional quality. The people they, you know, have in their plays are professional level, but it's like a volunteer place, and then the ticket sales, they like donate. I think it goes back to the program and then extra they donate or something like that. But regardless, they have like the pro actors, so they're really high quality even though it's a local theater. And we went to their performance of Les Mis because someone we knew was Jean Valjean, and it was so good. Like, they did an incredible job with it. I had never seen Les Mis before that, so it was like, whoa. Like, I was blown away. And then Les Mis was my favorite for a while after that. But then it went back to Phantom of the Opera eventually, because that one I was born into. Our mom had, like, the CD of the original soundtrack that she played constantly when we were little. So it's like a family staple. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll have to look into that, because that sounds cool. I like the idea of that. Okay, I think that's cleaned up well enough. Oh, I gotta do his eyeballs still. I like the way they draw his eyes, and I don't know if I can replicate that properly. Because it's just not my art style, it's not what I'm used to. They also give him really big eyes in proportion to his face. Maybe I need to make them bigger, and maybe that'll help. That it kind of looks like alien eyes now, but I think it'll look better once I color everything in. Little eyebrow. I kind of do want to do some kind of graphic on his shirt, but I'm not sure what. Maybe I'll just do... I was thinking like the devil horn hand symbol, but that's more of a metal thing, I feel like, than like grunge rock. Pointy, we want pointy. There we go. Boodoo, I got another Discord notification. I think that's a good enough for now. It would be really funny to like put my rock band's name on his shirt, but that wouldn't mean much to the artist here, because I don't know this artist, they don't know me. And then it would be like, I inserted my OCs into your story, and some people would love that and some people would not love that, so... I think I also want to do some, like, rips in his top. A little bit of intentional wear. This is a look I've been quite enjoying recently. I kind of want to tear up one of my own shirts like this, and I have like a little stash of like graphic tees that I don't wear much, that I want to do like various DIYs with. And that's one I probably will do, is just intentionally making holes in my clothes. There we go. More accurate would be you choose the flow and theme. Oh! Song is emotionally going. That's cool. What's an art fight? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. So art fight is a art event that happens every July. And it's like this website someone started a while back that you upload your characters to the site, and then other people can, you know, search for characters based on theme, or just find a random one, or find their friends' characters. And then the whole idea of the contest, you have like different teams. Usually it's 2 teams. This year it's 3. But you're split into teams, and you gain points for your team by making art for people on the other teams. So it's a big like art trade event basically, but it gamifies making art for people. So it's kind of a fun way to make little gift art of people's characters. I do it every year, and I usually only do a few attacks because I am easily distracted and forget, or I run out of time and I'm just too busy. But this is my second one so far. I haven't done any besides today. Today is the first day I've done any. So Oh, that's something. I don't like the way the back of his head looks. So I think I'm gonna redo that a bit. I want it to go out a little more. It's too, like, flat, straight down. So this character, I don't know the artist. I just searched for characters and found this one and thought they seemed pretty interesting. So this is like a random little surprise attack. And then I drew one of my viewers' characters. So that's kind of a more expected one. And then I have a, I'm going to be doing a revenge attack, which a revenge is when someone draws a character for you, and then in return you draw another character for them. And I got art from someone of one of my characters, so I'm going to draw one of their characters. But I'll probably do that off stream, or if I do it on stream, it'll be next stream, and then it'll be like the only thing I do during that particular stream, because I want to do like a full body, full illustration for that one, rather than like my little chibi style, because I want to do something similar to what they did for me. I want more volume here. Maybe a little more like the sketch where it's like a volume and then less and then more. I don't know. I'm just not liking it. Is that better? Maybe? It's just so much more fun in the original. I feel like it has more character, like more movement. Partially, I think, due to the style I decided to go with. It's more smooth and, like, shape-based rather than organic. So it ends up feeling a little more stiff and having less character to the individual pieces. There's less movement to it. Maybe that's better. I think that's a little better. Still not perfect, but what's the website called? It's literally artfight.net, I believe it is. Yeah, artfight.net. And if you look at my pinned comment, that's my account on it. So you could also click that and that'll take you to the account. And you can just click the homepage from there if you want to look at the information for it. Okay. I'm gonna start with his fire color. And I think I'm gonna do this like... Oh. I have to decide if he's wearing like a t-shirt underneath or like a tank top. I think I'm gonna treat it like it's a t-shirt. So these are gonna be the color of the shirt. This might be too. Maybe not. Maybe I'll make it a shorter t-shirt. Oh, and his hands. Forgot his hands for a second. See how much easier that is versus the penciled line art? And I might borrow some of these colors from the character so that it really suits him. So I might use this for the undershirt. I don't know why I always do this. Here we go. You know what? Wait, I do want to do different layers for this in case I hate the colors and want to change them. I was thinking about using this blue for the shirt, but it's so dark. It might be too dark against his... Yeah, I think it's too dark against his fire, so... Now, do I like that, or do I want more like a green? No, blue better. Blue is better with red. And then his pants. His Converse is this blue color. So, I'm gonna put that in here so that I can get the context of that next to the pants. Because I want to keep their original color. There's that. And then the red. It might be a slightly different red in the original, but I'm just going to use the same red so it's all congruent. I'll just color this in. Now his pants. What do I want to do with his pants? Oh, and his flannel. I almost forgot about that. I think I have a problem here where I gravitate to darker tones for alternative style, but grunge isn't always dark tones. Like, these are some pretty light, like, grays and greens. And that's how you get, like, the nice contrast as some of those lighter colors. But my brain goes, no, dark color. But I don't want to make it too dark that it blends in with his fire color. So I struggle. That sure is some spicy water. I think I'm gonna, for now, go fill it in with like a maroon. And then I might change it if I don't like that. So many little spots. Oh. Oh. Okay. I think that's everything. Roughly everything. I'm gonna have to fill in some little gaps later. Yeah, I don't like that color. We'll change it. At least I don't like it next to the shoes. I do want to... There we go. I want to finish these shoes with the white. I kind of like how, like, dingy this white color is. Because it first of all, it fits with the grunge look, and it kind of makes these shoes look like they've been worn quite a bit. It's probably the same color as the top. Yeah, so it's just the white they chose to use, but they chose a white that adds to that kind of grungy, dirty look, and I like that. Does that mean his eyes are that too? I don't think so. Yeah, his eyes are not the same color. Let's do his eyes now. Oh. And then like this red color. Maybe I actually want to make his shirt here the same color as his eyes, because I kind of like the idea of that more toned down red for his clothes. What layer is it on? Did I miss it? Yeah, I did. It's right here. I could also swap this around and put the round on top, but I kind of like the idea of his main, most visible colors being less vibrant. But I might make this top lighter. And then I can make the rest darker, basically. Maybe I'll make this flannel the same color as his shoes. I don't have a layer for that yet. New layer. There's that. Oh, I forgot one of the straps. Oopsie, we'll have to come back and fix that. Clip Studio is lagging, yay. Oh, this has a gap. Looks like the same devs that made Growing Up also made a weed seller simulator. Fantastic. Yay. What's up? Hey! What's up? We're working on Art Fight. I'm drawing this little dude here. And I'm designing him an outfit and struggling with colors. If this was my own character and they didn't have black fire for a body, I'd give him black pants. But he has black fire for a body, so if I give him black pants, he'll look like he's not wearing pants. I don't want to just give it the same color as his reference image. Maybe I could just make it blue, like jeans. No, because there's too much blue in these grays. I could change the grays though. I could make this red to match that and then make his pants. Oh, but I don't want it to be too close to the shoes. Ah! I feel like it's not terrible in this maroon color. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I feel like anytime I work in color palettes that are just not my usual color palette, I just don't feel like it looks good. Because it's just not what I'm used to. Okay, I'm gonna color in those words. And maybe I'll go for the darker color on the lighter shirt. I don't like that, actually. I like that better. Dark red looks good enough to you? I might keep it for now. I might just not post this right away and then look back at it and just decide later on how I feel about the colors. Because sometimes just having a fresh set of eyes helps, because I might come back and be like, you know what, actually I do really like this. Or I might come back and go, you know, I don't, and I understand why, and I know how to fix it now. But I am going to give him a plaid pattern on this flannel. Maybe I want to do it like this way first, and then the other way. I don't want to put too much effort in this flannel. I just think making it not all going in the same direction and not just one solid pattern might make it feel a little more like it's actually laying. It might be nice. Okay, that's our first bit. I'm gonna do another layer in case I screw up the other bit. Deciding if I want to use another color that's already in the design. I don't hate this one. I feel like it could bug out your eyes though. Maybe I'll just make the other color less bright. I'm just gonna fill it in first and then I'll decide what to do with it. That's fine. There. Now which one of these colors do I want to change? I'll start by turning this one a darker gray and seeing what that looks like. And then I'll try the opposite of making the other one a darker color. Okay, all gray versus this one being darker. I like that. I like that one being darker. It's more toned down. Yeah. That's better. Now, I think for now, I'm gonna like finish up this coloring and then I'm gonna just call this one done for now. Maybe I'll add in a really simple background. I'm still not sure I want to like go all out with the background like I had kind of planned out. Because I want to get done a bunch of these and not focus on just one. Oh. There we go. Oh, that apparently went over the line. That's better. Okay, I think this is pretty much filled in properly. Okay, next part. This is the eyes. I don't think there's an issue with the eyes, but I'll take a look. Just double check that this is good. And then that should be fine. And then we have to go back down. Yeah. The letters. I am tempted to change these leathers to be like a fire pun or something, rather than just saying the word rock, because this feels kind of like a poser t-shirt to me. But it was like the first thing that popped in my head, so I just wrote it out, and I just wanted it to be funky letters, and that was the whole idea, really. But I might change it to something that feels less like, I'm pretending I listen to rock. Oh, it looks pretty much fine. Yeah, I think that's good. Oh, I keep forgetting I locked the layers. I'm getting close to filling up my most recent sketchbook, and I really want to finish it so I can do a sketchbook tour. But I also don't want to like just rush through it to the end just to do a sketchbook tour. And also I think my replacement sketchbook that I was planning on filling next is not in this location. I have to go rescue it from my college land. So I don't want to fill up my current sketchbook too fast and then not have a new one to draw in. But I'm getting so close to the end that I'm like, I want it to be finished, I want it to be filled. Also because I don't love this sketchbook that I've been using. It's like one of those that's designed to lay flat, so it doesn't have a spine, but as a result it's really flimsy. And it's like one of the cheap brands that's like not a professional level art brand. It's like a cheap, like one step up from Crayola brand. And their sketchbooks are cheap. They're not like super well made. And I've used them before because the quality of the paper doesn't really matter for me with a sketchbook because I'm always sketching in pen. And I find that paper quality matters more when you have pencil or other like mixed media, like markers, paints. Like paper quality matters more for those things because the paper reacts to them differently. But pen just goes down on everything. Like the type of pen I'm using, like a standard ballpoint Bic pen, you can use it on anything. So the cheap paper works just fine for it. Although I really don't like it for graphite. I use like better sketchbooks for graphite. But it works just fine for my pen sketches. But this one is just not put together very well. It's flimsy and the front and back have both broken off of it. So, and it doesn't feel super nice to use either. I don't feel like the lay flat technology makes that big of a difference for this particular sketchbook. And it's a weird shape. Like the pages are like longer and thinner than usual sketchbook sizes, and it's just an unusual shape, and it's not my favorite shape for sketchbook spreads. So I'm like, I'm ready to move on to a different sketchbook. I did it again. There's like one dot that's not filling. Why? What is making a problem here? It's the shirt. Get out of here. Okay. All good? No. There we go. Now it should be all fixed. I do think I messed up the shirt slightly, so I should fix that before I forget. Oh, it's still locked. Stupid. There we go. Okay. Well, there's that. What I might do, because I don't want him to be just floating in a white void, but I also don't know that I want to actually do a detailed background here. I might do like a simplified suggestion of this backdrop. Oh, there's a gap I'm missing. Fill that in. Okay. And then the bricks will be like a toned down version of this. And that's gonna be all of this. I'll actually do a new layer for this in case I decide that I hate the colors and want to redo them. Okay. I do actually think I want to make that darker. And this too. Maybe less blue. Maybe it should be a more like brownish color. take this one and make it gray. Yeah, I think that works. And then we'll do a different color behind. Like maybe we'll do the bluish gray behind him. Off topic, do you have to be a digital artist for the art fight? No, you don't. You can do any kind of art. Doesn't matter the medium, doesn't matter the style. Anyone can participate. Dolly, actually, one of our server members, she's been doing little traditional doodles. I wonder if she would mind if I showed you guys. Let's see. I can just scroll up a little. Here's one that Strawberry got from someone. Oh. This? It's like a Chikawa version of his character. So, like, that, obviously that's traditional art, and it's like just a simple doodle. There are also people who do like full, beautiful finished illustrations, people who do animations, and then people who will go as simple as like stick figures. So really anything is allowed. We're gonna save that for now. I forget their username. Let me look at that. Lango Prawn. A Fire Nation attacked joke. Amazing. That would be fun. You make ceramics, that's awesome. I wanted to take a ceramics class in college, but it always got filled up super fast because everyone wanted to take it. And there was only one session every semester. So I never got into the course, but I like ceramics. I think it'd be so fun to spin on the wheel. Or to throw on the wheel, I guess is the correct term. Yeah. It's something I gotta try one of these days. What am I doing? I think I do want to change this text. Here we go, it's this layer. Get rid of this. Maybe I should have done this on a different layer because I was uncertain about it at first to begin with. There's a Moe Blob anime out about making ceramics. There is. Why have you not told me about this? Is it a bad one? Is that why? Can be super difficult. Oh yeah, I believe that. It seems like it would be difficult. Some people in my art school make really impressive ceramics, and they blow my mind. They look so smooth, it's hard to even believe that someone made it by hand. eventually they'll run out of ideas for moe blobs. Then they'll probably just repeat the ideas they had before, to be honest. The moe blob will never end. Classic Japanese property. Oh! Well, the classic Japanese pottery propaganda should be good and is disappointing that it's not, because I would be so here for the let's get people back into Japanese pottery show if it was a good show. Actually, I think I don't want that to be as big. I want this B to be thicker. I think I'm gonna redo both of these. Make him a thick boy. Maybe. I might decide I don't like that, actually. Sorry. I got locked in. Let's see. Classic Japanese plot. We did that. Our fight is Alkity. Have your art portfolio linked on that? Nice. Okay. Would be funny to literally take the background where Fire Nation attack. Yeah, that would be a choice. Okay. N. There we go. We're gonna have to fill in these spots that are not filled in on the shirt. Let's actually do that first, so we have a kind of a blank canvas to work with. Then it'll be easier to select the letters and fill them. Okay. Oh. Did it reverse the selection? It reversed the selection. Why? What button did I bump to make it do that? Ah. There's still a piece missing here. Okay. Okay, that's better. Now it's done. Save that again. And then I'll just have to come back to it later and decide if I actually like it or actually don't like it. Alrighty. So we got 2 done. I think I'm going to wrap it up there and not start another one for today. And then probably for my next art stream, I'll do another art fight attack stream so I can get some more done. So there's our 2 kiddos. We've got Fireboy and Peanut. Match is this character. Match and Peanut. Doggo Girl. Fireboy. She's cute. I'm happy with this one. I like this one a lot. Him, I'll have to decide later how I feel about it. I don't dislike it. I'm just still unsure about the colors. They're growing on me more, I think. Should do yours next. Well, you have to post your art fight. You have to make an account and post your characters before I can do yours. So get on that before my next stream. But yeah, there we go. There's the art. We did the thing, is the art fight. I'll probably go ahead and post this right after stream and then give this one more thought before I post it. But, yeah. I guess that's it, for today. Tomorrow, Arashi and I are doing a, web fishing stream over on the Storm Squadron channel. So go check that out. And we will have an open server. If you don't know what web fishing is, it is a basically chat room, but it's like Animal Crossing fishing. Your characters look like they're from Animal Crossing, they talk like they're from Animal Crossing, and they fish, and you have to catch fish, and then you sell fish, and then you use your money to buy like customizational items and little things you can interact with, like instruments and chalk and stuff like that. But it's just a chill little like chat room game. So we'll be playing that tomorrow, and we'll have an open server. So if you want to join in, you're welcome to. If you don't have the game but you still want to join, it's only like $5 on Steam. I'm also noticing I didn't shade the inside of her skirt, and I want to do that. But yeah, feel free to join us tomorrow in web fishing if you would like. There, that's better. That's much better. I also think I need to shade this a little bit now. That's better. Okay, now she's done. That's that, I guess. No, I will not be drawing your character. Only art fight, no draw. And I gotta drink more and heal my voice. My throat doesn't like how little I've been drinking and how much I've been talking, apparently. Even though I don't feel like I've been talking that much. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow or next week or whenever. Thanks for coming. Thanks for chatting with me. It was fun. I have to pull up my end screen. I didn't have OBS pulled up. Anyway, bye.